What's up, guys? Welcome to Monchkinz Gaming, where we take your gaming to the next level. This is Monchkinz logging in to bring you my first impressions on Revelation Online. So this video is actually about maybe 4 or 5 days late because of my night shift I just finished this morning, and I thought I really need to get this out. So this video basically is my first impression of Revelation Online and how I feel about the game right now as what it is currently out. So let's start off with the graphics. A lot of people will probably think, I want to see what you think about the graphics. The graphics is basically always the big main thing when it comes to games. So I mean, when it comes to graphics, Revelation Online isn't like a very big wow thing for me. There are certain places where it looks really beautiful and really pretty, but it isn't exactly groundbreaking in my opinion. For an MMO, I feel like sometimes, I feel like Final Fantasy XIV looks a little bit better. Now, granted, they have sort of different art style in some ways, but this Revelation Online is sort of like anime sort of ish inspired. So I wouldn't say it's the greatest graphics in any MMO. I believe there are other out there that are better, like Black Desert Online is probably a lot better when it comes to graphics. I would even say Blade and Soul is has better graphics than Revelation Online, but that's I guess they fall in the same category. Now the bad thing that, well, I really didn't want to say bad thing, but the thing that annoyed me the most in Revelation Online is for its graphics, there's a lot of pop-ins, especially in story mode. When there's a cutscene, there's like one person should be dead, and you see them standing for a couple of seconds, and then you'll see them lie down all of a sudden. A lot of things like that. If it was like something like Black Desert Online, I don't think you'll see something like that. The cutscene seems to be also, I would say, very poor in their presentation. Like I said, there's a pop-ins and there's not a lot of voice acting in the game, and if there is, it's in Chinese. This is probably one of the things that I really hate about the game, and I don't want to say hate, but that's how I feel. I don't like it. Let's just put it that way. You're releasing this game for the Western players, and basically all the voice acting is still in Chinese, and some translations are not translated to English, so there's a lot of text and there's not a lot of voice acting. And the graphics basically for the cutscenes, they're pretty crap. I don't really want to put a lot of negative things in this game, but I guess because of that, it's a bit annoying if you don't understand Chinese. I mean, I did study Chinese, but that's way back, and I can't remember, any sort of things now. I can only understand the very basic. But anyway, I guess that's it for the graphics. I got a little bit sidetracked, but it all combines in that place anyway. It's sort of in that area, the graphics, the voice acting, those are the kind of things you look for in MMO. I guess nowadays there's a lot of voice acting, but either way, if there wasn't any voice acting, I would have liked it if they translated it much better than it feels like. It's sort of like a fan um like a fan translation. It's not finished. It doesn't feel like it's finished. It doesn't feel like it's done properly. So I feel like they tried to release this a little bit too early, just because a lot of hype for the game. Now let's go with the big one. I'll move on to the gameplay. Now, disclaimer, I am playing in Australia, so there's I feel there's quite a there's lag for me. Obviously, it's not the best, but it is playable if you are using something like Battle Ping or What the Foss, or Mudfish. Anything that sort of like helps you with your ping. It does help. It does help, I must say, and it makes it more playable than the if you don't have one. So gameplay wise, there's 3 ways I believe you can do this. You can do tab targeting, you can do free, and I think was the other one controller. I can't remember on top of my head because I never really played with the other I guess mode. The other game mode. I only played with tab targeting, and I played with the free mode. I feel like depending on your character, you might want to use tab targeting, or you might want to use the free mode as well. So gameplay wise, like I said, there's nothing sort of groundbreaking. It borrows a lot from different MMOs. Of course, the tab targeting is your usual World of Warcraft, Final Fantasy 14 type of game, and then the free mode, it's like action RPG done sort of okay, actually, in my opinion, at least for this game. It's you can still sort of auto aim with your left click, so it's not completely in free mode and action RPG mode, but nonetheless it works great. I do find it okay when you're playing the magic swordsman, or whatever you want to call it. So gameplay wise, I don't have a lot of issues. Like I said, if you are outside in America or Europe, you probably would like to use something like a Battle Ping, third party program to help with your ping. And of course, the last thing I want to talk about is probably the music in the game. As far as I can I'm listening to it, it's not really like groundbreaking or anything like that. Well, I guess there won't be any sort of groundbreaking when it comes to music, but sometimes there's music that you feel like, yeah, this is it. It's really nice, really catchy. But I didn't find anything like that in Revelation Online. And honestly, like I said earlier, there's not a lot of voice acting, so that comes into the music or sound part of the game, and there's not a lot of it, and it is mostly in Chinese. If you are you don't speak Chinese at all, it's kind of hard to understand. When it comes with the story as well, I know some people just tend to watch the cutscene and try to follow the story that way, and I must admit I am like that most of the time when it comes to MMOs, except I think for Final Fantasy 14. I sort of like, there's a lot of text going, and I'm just like, I tried my best to follow the story, but the translations isn't that great, but you can still follow it. And I'm going in a tangent again, but I just want to reiterate that bit, because I feel that holds the game back a lot. When people try to understand what's happening and they have no idea what's happening because of the cutscenes, and there are some cutscenes that they do speak in Chinese and there's no any sort of translation. So when you're trying to follow the story, and what the hell are they saying, things like that. So I must say, when I paid for the early access, it feels like a disappointment because of this. It feels like I don't really want to play it anymore because of the fact that I couldn't follow the story, and because of the fact that I guess I tried to follow the story, but I can't. And I mean, the gameplay is solid enough as is, but I don't feel like it was worth my money. And so I guess that's my first impression of the game. I might play it on the side if I do feel like playing it, but right now I sort of lost interest because I couldn't follow what the heck was going on. It's really, really hard, and there's a lot of text, and sometimes the names for the characters are very funny. It really feels like it's in alpha mode, or I would say pretty close to a closed beta still. So I never played the closed beta because I never got the key to try and play it. Now some people might say, you could have gotten the closed beta if you paid earlier, but I didn't really feel like trying the closed beta because of all the bad things that most people were saying about the game. So I thought, nah, I won't. But when early access was announced, I thought, well, they should have fixed all the things they should have fixed in the closed beta. But to me, it still feels a lot like closed beta, which is pretty disappointing when it comes to translation. So if it were me, guys, wait for the open beta before you try the Revelation Online out, and I'm sure it would be coming out pretty soon. I think either it's already out by the time this video goes up, or might go up in the next couple of days. Anyway, guys, that's all I can say about Revelation Online. I feel very disappointed, but at the same time, it is a solid MMO if you don't want to follow any sort of story. Remember to click like, subscribe, and share this video if you find it informative at all. As always, I would like to hear from you guys if you guys have played Revelation Online and what you think of it. This is Monchkinz logging off, and I'll see you guys in the next level.